Hey, Gotham Geek Girl here, super excited. We are here for JFK One Day in America. I am with Charlotte and Alex, and we are going to talk about the new documentary coming to NAT-GEO Disney+. How has it been coming onto something so incredibly important for American history, and how did you both get involved with taking on this project?
I got involved, I guess, because I'm a freelance producer and I've worked a lot in America, and actually I just found it fascinating. You know, it's something that we've all been brought up with, and we know secondhand from our parents' generation. We've never really we don't know. I didn't know that much about it. So, and we obviously wanted to commemorate anniversary. It was obviously for the 60th anniversary to celebrate that and make a series about the last surviving witnesses.
And then working for 72 Films, we made the 9/11 series, which also followed a similar kind of format in terms of talking to, getting first-hand testimony from eyewitnesses of a very important historic event and intertwining it with archive, and hopefully, or in some instances, finding the people that were there in the event inside the archive as well, so you have that deeper connection. And so we started to look at more historical events, and 9/11 had been had done very well for National Geographic, and we'd love to make it. So we were looking for other things that could follow in that kind of format, essentially. And JFK seemed like a good one to do in terms of the anniversary coming up 60 years. And as Charlotte said, you know, probably the last time that you can hear some of these people's testimony.
And how was it, I guess, like conducting research and like finding like reputable sources and like finding out if someone's still alive?
So we had two producers who were brilliant, called Sophie and Henry, and we all did that, but we all kind of, read. Obviously, actually, the Sixth Floor Museum were brilliant because they had already done a lot of the kind of research for us, actually, interestingly, because they'd already done a lot of kind of audio, oral histories, they'd already done kind of events here with the kind of the key eyewitnesses, and also, you know, like Clint, Paul, and they've written books about it as well. So it was quite easy in a way because we had this 3 days and we knew, because it's been so well documented, it was quite easy to kind of go straight to the people that we knew and through the archive, because it needed to coincide together to find them, actually. So yeah, and actually we had a really good success rate in terms of approaching contributors and them agreeing to take part. In fact, most of them wanted to take part, which was fantastic. And and they gave fantastic interviews, considering that it was 60 years ago. It was almost like they kind of went straight back there and were able to recount that day in such vivid detail that it really kind of brought it to life, and it really felt that we were there with them.
One of the other things that really stood out to me was the score. It was absolutely incredible. Can you touch on that a little bit? Because it really, like, even though like this was like 60 plus years, we felt like we were there, and it was like emotional for like the audience.
Yeah, it's such an important part of the series and any program, actually, the score. And it can, you know, it's particularly something like this where you're wrapped into the emotion and the kind of storytelling of the individuals. It plays such an important part, the soundscape as well as the pictures, in terms of, you know, production values. And we just found this fantastic composer called Sam Thompson, who'd done some work at 72 previously, and he just got it. Like, he understood what it needed. He understood how to, you know, work to the pace of the documentary. He understood how to write for the various emotions that you might feel at any given time, like excitement on the day that Kennedy was coming to Dallas, or, you know, sorrow for Jackie. And, you know, he just really understood the brief, didn't he?
He really understood the emotion. He could read, because we actually had already almost sort of picture locked. We'd almost kind of completed the series when he made the music, sorry. So he was able to kind of, which is much easier than obviously doing it when it's kind of in its early stages, but he was brilliant at reading the scenes and understanding the kind of emotion that was needed, tonally through the music. And he made it feel really epic, I think, and really cinematic, and really emotional. Yeah, it's beautiful, I think. It's quite fantastic. It does a lot of work. I think without the music, it wouldn't be half as emotional, actually.
And I guess one last question. Another thing that was really cool that you guys added was color. Can you kind of tell us about when you decided to add color to it and the effects that it had, and why you decided for some scenes not to add color?
We pitched it with colorized archive in it to National Geographic when we came up with the concept of it. So colorization was always something that we intended to do within the series. I think just because it gives a kind of fresh approach to archive that may have been seen multiple times, and obviously this was so well covered. So we always had in the back of our minds that we wanted to colorize, and it was just a process that went alongside hand in hand with the edit. You know, we tried to colorize everything, then we realized some things worked better than others, then it was like working the colorized material into the editorial. It was also making sure that, you know, we were respectful of the story that we were telling, and sometimes just colorization didn't feel appropriate. But it was a really integral part of the production. I mean, obviously, other than the interviews, the archive department are massive. The composer and the sound is massive. The colorization is, you know, there's so many elements that you have to sort of pull in all at the same time in terms of juggling it and creating something like that, you know. So, but yeah, it was something that we always had a vision to do, and actually, less is more sometimes, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like the color was impactful for moments like where we saw him interacting with his family, and like how Jackie was so, I guess, like important for the audience, and like her just coming out in her beautiful raspberry, they call it raspberry outfit. I guess that kind of added the effect of like people wanting to be there, like I have to go see Jackie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Thank you so much.
It's on National Geographic on November the 5th, and then on Disney Plus from the 6th of November. And Hulu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.